Welcome back to the special edition of Access to Business. My name is Guadalupe Velasquez, and today we're talking about female-owned businesses, the Mayor Coleman's Small Business Conference, and also being certified with the city. And my guests for the second half, returning, is Director Melinda Carter, and then next to her is Charissa W. Durst, and then the lovely Barb Smoot, who's returning to our show once again. Thank you and welcome for coming back. And Dr. Lisa Huang. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome. And again, we're talking about female-owned businesses. And Barb, I'd like to start with you this time. Talk a little bit about what you do as the executive director of WELD, and give us a little bit of information about the climate of female-owned businesses in Central Ohio.
Certainly. Thank you. I am the executive director for WELD, and what we do is we focus on developing and advancing women's leadership. And the reason why we do that is that when women are in top leadership and women run businesses, our economy really thrives. So it's important that women get the support. And as we look around the economy and we look at what the state of Ohio is doing for women business owners, there are some key trends that we're seeing, even at a national level. One thing that we're seeing is that the Latina population is really going strong in terms of starting their own businesses, and that creates a lot of trickle-down opportunities in the economy. These women business owners, they will buy supplies. They will need websites that need to be built. So when we look at that, that's something that we need to pay attention to and allocate resources around that.
And there's also a statistic, if you could go into detail about it, about when women businesses in general and women, when they earn money, a larger percentage goes to the family. Do you remember?
That's an absolute correct fact. So, for example, for every dollar that a woman earns, 90% of that is reinvested back into families and into the community. When you compare that to every dollar that a man earns, that's only 30 to 40%. So you see a high level of reinvestment by women, and that helps our economy grow, and it helps us to have a stronger civic infrastructure.
Thank you. And if you're just joining us, again, returning with us is Director Carter. And Director Carter, could you please tell us a little bit about your office?
Well, the Equal Business Opportunity Office is the mayor's office to encourage inclusion for minority and women-owned businesses in our procurement process. The city buys millions of dollars, and we build things all year, every year. And so our office is charged with reaching out to the minority and business community and making sure they're represented in that pool. So for women-owned businesses, which we're talking about today, our office is ready to make sure that women know that the city is a great place to look for opportunities.
Great, thank you. And Charissa, please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm the president of Hardlines Design Company, and I'm an architect. So our firm is an architectural design company, but we also do cultural resources management. And a lot of people ask me, what's that? But it's the sort of companion to natural resources management, just that we look at the archaeology sites and the historic buildings that are in the environment that might be impacted by a project.
Great, thank you. And Dr. Huang, welcome. Please share with us what you do.
Yeah, sure. I'm president of Advanced Engineering Consultants. We provide the mechanical, electrical, plumbing, fire protection, technology, and sustainable designs for numerous projects, and include City of Columbus projects and some state and federal projects.
Great, thank you. And would you mind just going a little more into detail about what type of projects do you do with the City of Columbus?
In the City of Columbus, we're doing numerous designs, such as we did the fire station, lighting upgrade, and then fire station number 10, which is a LEED Gold certified project. And the West Side Family Health Center, we did the mechanical, electrical, technology engineering designs, as well as Henryport Airport, Henryport projects with mechanical engineering designs.
So how exciting, all of these projects are being done by a woman. At least a woman's at the leadership, right? At the leadership.
Yes, we're very excited. We take pride to contribute to the society and to build a better society by sustainable designs.
Outstanding. And Director Carter, would you like to talk a little bit more about projects like that?
Yeah, I mean, Dr. Wang was absolutely right. We're very proud to have women-owned business working on those projects, and her engineering firm has been doing work with the city for some time, and we're very proud and pleased to have her because we want great businesses, and they are. Same thing with Hardlines as well. So it's important, and as I said in the last segment, about being certified, because we need to know you're out there. I mean, there may be other women there that want to be architect, or young women that don't know that they can be an architect even in this day and age, but you'd be surprised. But to me, Dr. Lisa, Dr. Wang is a great example of what women can do, and we at the city are proud to have great businesses. The mayor is committed to the idea that women can do absolutely everything. And we need businesses that are here and ready to do that work to show and prove that we can. And certainly Advanced Engineering Group is an example, as is Hardlines and the other women businesses that are certified. We have 127 certified women-owned businesses with the city, and we want lots more.
And I will never look at a fire station, you know, the same again. Charissa, talking about partnerships with other businesses, could you talk about what you do as a business owner to collaborate with other business owners, do partnerships with other business owners?
Actually, we've actually worked with Lisa's firm quite a bit as well. As an architect, we're often the firm that's in the lead. And so there are a lot of projects out there that your typical agency client would consider too large for a firm our size. And I've always been told that architects reach their prime when they're 55, not quite there yet. So I think a lot of times I always get the feeling they think that our firm is too small or they're too young, something like that. So we have been recently partnering with larger, more established firms to go after those larger projects.
Great. And what are some of the projects that you've worked on?
I think the one most people know is the renovation of Lincoln Theater.
Oh, yes.
And during construction, it was very interesting because all the people coming down to the project to monitor construction were women. The structural engineering representative was a woman. The mechanical engineering's construction person was a woman. All the people from the architecture firm were women. So I think the construction contractors were somewhat amused at that.
I'm just like trying to contain myself. I'm overwhelmed with excitement to hear that. And again, speaking about women in top leadership, Barb, please share some information with us regarding that.
And again, there's a favorite statistic that I like to quote. It's important for women to be at the highest levels of impact. And when we say the highest level, it's at the corporate board level. And companies with 3 or more women on their boards, they outperform companies with fewer by any economic measure you want to look at, 53% to 66% more. And these companies give back more philanthropically to communities. And again, that's great for our communities. And if we want Columbus to be the #1 destination in terms of a greatest place to live and work, we have to make sure we're including more than half, our population, which is women. When you look at what women are earning in terms of degrees versus men, more women are earning college degrees, and that's intellectual capital that we have to tap into if we want to be able to compete globally.
Wonderful. And Dr. Wang, as a business owner, a female business owner, what do you think business owners need in terms of support to develop one's business?
As a woman business owner, I think we need a society to support us, just as we support you. And especially we need to get earn the trust. And like Melinda indicated that my success in business, the good service I provide for the city, which prove that we are capable to deliver the good services, just as the man, they can deliver the good services.
And would anybody else like to add to that, Charissa?
For us, it's a little different because as an architect, we're often the lead firm, and therefore we often find ourselves basically being compared to the other older, more established firms. So when there's a goal, that's often great, but those other firms meet that goal by hiring firms like Lisa's to be on the team. So I almost feel like it's almost easier as a sub-consultant to get work when there's goals in place. The cultural resources portion of our office does very well because of that. We are often subbing to environmental and engineering firms working on transportation projects, and they call us first because they know we're a woman-owned firm. But as an architect, it's much tougher. We're always in the lead, and unless there's a project that's specifically designated for a woman-owned firm, it's been really competitive.
What would you suggest to change?
Actually, we were talking about this in the hallway, and it was having an advocate, someone you know, if there are more women on the board saying we want to hire a woman architect, especially if the project is a women's center or something like that, that often helps. And I think networking helps us. You just have to know people. If we used to think when I was younger that if we just did good work, get that trust, you know, the work will come. And I think that's all very well and good, but if the people don't know that you do this good work, it's very difficult. And for an architect, I think you do have to get out there and meet people. And I don't play golf, and you know, I don't drink, so it's really it's hard for me. So it's more like I just have to hire people or get family members to go out and help market on my behalf.
Director, do you want to add?
Well, I do think, I mean, the industry has changed, particularly the architectural field is a very tough one because it is the lead, and really the economy has changed. And I know when I started this many years ago, there were jobs that larger architectural firms would not apply for. They weren't interested. It was a small playground or small building. Now they're applying for anything. But my thing as an advocate for inclusion is that if you're talking about a drawing, and I'm not an architect, although over the course of the years I've been very blessed to have people in the industry sit with me and talk with me so I can be a better advocate, is that if I'm drawing, do I really need to have 50 years or 50 other people, you know, work with me? What do I need to make sure you have the best fire station, you know, that you can? Or can, you know, you don't always have, you know, a law firm with 10,000 lawyers to represent someone that, you know, runs a red light. So we've got to make sure we right-size our projects so that we can increase inclusion. Everybody starts off somewhere, and everyone doesn't start off, you know, with 100 employees and, you know, a $10 million, $20 million, $30 million in revenue. We've got to make sure that our projects reflect our vending community because, you know, we get better pricing, we get better. If we have never given Dr. Wang's, I was called Dr. Lisa, firm an opportunity, we wouldn't have her great work. If we hadn't made sure that we are creating opportunities where people can compete, we can't create opportunities where one person more than likely is going to be successful. I mean, so we have to have some skin in the game, the idea that it's important to us. That's why we, as an administration, mayor has said, you know, we've got to find a way to be inclusive. And we do have an obligation to make that happen and to make sure that our opportunities reflect that.
Great.
So.
And going on the word of advocate and just switching it a little to sponsorship. Barb, can you talk about that?
Sponsorship is key. By having someone who's really willing to intervene on your behalf, to get your foot in the door, to speak highly in terms of the work product, your work ethic, and trustworthiness there's no substitution or replacement for that. Combining that with networking, that's a powerful 1-2 punch. To have someone who is known in your particular industry to reach out and say, Dr. Huang, she's the person that you want for this job. I've got a 50-year record behind what I do. I'm telling you as an expert that this is the person that you want for that job. And as a matter of fact, I want to be on the decision-making team to ensure that she gets a fair shot at the project. That's sponsorship. That's taking an active role in ensuring the success and at least the chance for the opportunity to get the business.
Mm-hmm. Dr. Wang, would you like to say something about that?
And I think just want to thank the City of Columbus granting me this opportunity because from my experience, I know that we need to work very, very hard as a woman with the business to earn the trust and the respect. Uh-huh.
I mean, we're glad to serve women. I mean, it's a pleasure to work. I mean, I love women-owned businesses because we work so hard. Women work hard. And we're out here all the time. And one thing I was going to, on what Dr. Wang and also Barb said is that one of the things that Mayor Coleman insisted when he first came into office in 2000, and we continue to do it, is to serve on evaluation teams. And that is so important because when you have a diverse evaluation team that looks at things differently, it makes all the difference in the world. And that's one thing I'm really adamant about at our office, and I really think it's something that really gets people thinking differently. It's not that the team intentionally excludes, but there may be things that we can bring to the table, or as you say, sponsorship, advocacy, whatever, that are important. So we're proud to serve good companies, and we want to encourage them, and we want to support them wherever we can. And one way is by being an advocate on evaluation teams.
And
it's really important.
The cliche of out of sight, out of mind. So if a woman isn't present on a board or in a decision-making process, sometimes women are forgotten, right? And that applies to any, right? Barb, could we switch the topic now a little bit to Mayor Coleman's Small Business Summit? I know that you are working very diligently on it as well as a consultant. Could you talk about it, please?
We are so excited about this. A lot of the comments that were made today in terms of what women business owners need, they're going to get that at the conference. You'll have an opportunity to network with over 100 city associates, primes, those who will be the decision makers. And again, if people don't know who you are, your name is not going to, come front of mind. In addition, there's something for everyone, regardless of where you're at in your level of business with the city. You might be a new business owner just starting off with the city, just getting your foot in the door. There's a special track for you, as well as for those who are, got that first contract, they're ready to grow their business. What are the next steps that are there? You will have the people in the city that make the decisions around that and provide that training right there so that you can meet them. I'm excited about it just because of the diversity of the programming that is there, the visible presence by the mayor and those who support him, and the primes that are coming out to support this event.
And again, it's October 3rd.
October 3rd.
Hyatt Regency.
You got it, 8 o'clock to 5:30, plan to 5:30, because this is the sort of networking event where even though the conference may end, it's still going to keep going.
And all you have to do is go to columbus.gov to register for the conference, for the summit. Thank you so much, Barb. Now, again, talking about female-owned businesses, networking, I know that, Sharissa, when you and I spoke yesterday, you talked about how important networking was to you and your business. And so I want to also dive into, okay, you're a business owner, you also need funding, and not just through contracts, right? You need capital to grow your business. So how do we go about finding capital that specifically helps female-owned businesses?
Well, it's been interesting. We actually never needed capital to start up. It was very interesting. We still have this old dot matrix sheet of paper that lists what assets I brought to the company. It was like, okay, there's my typewriter, my books. I guess it depends on the type of business. For architecture, the equipment that I got as a student in architecture school was adequate to move forward to start the business on. And it wasn't until in the last few years when we got large projects from the Corps of Engineers that I actually went to the bank and said, I think I need a line of credit so that I can pay employees before we get paid.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Barb, could you go a little bit more into accessing capital?
Definitely. A woman business owner can get to a certain point using her own funds, her own assets, but really to make that next jump to the next level, getting capital is key. Columbus is fortunate that we have banks here that have great programs specifically tailored to women business owners. My prior life is as an actuary, and I will tell you that women business owners are a great risk to assume. Women business owners tend to underborrow or borrow just exactly what they need. Women business owners are very careful with cash flow and very judicious about how they spend their money. They're a great business risk. And we're fortunate that with the diversity of women business owners that we have here and the quality of banks that we have here with the types of programs that they offer, it's a perfect match.
Okay. It sounds a little confusing, and so I'd like you to go a little bit more into that, because you said women-owned businesses are a business risk?
They're a great risk.
Great.
They're great risk. There are bad risks, bad bets to take, and there are good bets to take.
Okay.
Women business owners are the best bet that you can ever take.
But are there any suggestions on where to go to look for capital? Because I know even within our office, people are starting businesses and they call our office and ask us, are there grants? How do you get loans for, but really more a grant process for business owners. Any thoughts on that?
Columbus is a great community and they're very supportive in many ways, but undercapitalization is a major problem with minority and women-owned businesses, women-owned business specifically today. There are some programs that I'm aware of. There are no, I always tell people there are no grant programs just because there aren't really, and why lead them around to think that they are, but I wish there were more. But there are some. The State of Ohio has a program called CAP Access to Department of Development. Their Jobs Ohio, whatever they're called now. There's ECDI. They have some programs. There's Country CCDC. Well, there's a few agencies.
Okay.
There's not there, and the city has an economic development in our development department. So there are some resources out there. I will tell you that it's not getting money right now for anybody, and it's one of the problems that we struggle with as business owners struggle with, and so we're trying to find our way to try to help. I know there's been a number of things that we've done as peers to try to talk about how we can do that, and we're directing people to banks, and the banks, you know, in Columbus, you know, they can be helpful, but right now it's just a difficult time for anybody, and we understand that. So we're trying to work on some ways to address those issues.
Okay. But I know when I spoke with Barb when we were preparing for the show, you talked a bit about the importance of knowing that you're going to need capital.
Oh, yeah,
right?
she's exactly
And-
right.
and
Preparing
so-
for that
Preparing
day.
for it.
There are just so many resources in our community that will help women get the vision of their business on paper, a great business plan, great cash flow history to build everything that you need in order to make that first ask. There are a number of things that you can do in managing your cash flow, managing your balance sheet, so that when you do need to seek out that first line of credit, it becomes an easy yes for the bank.
Okay.
And the best thing we can do, I was going to say, is to
yes.
help them get work. And that helps with what Barb's saying, because, you know, you show you got work, you got cash flow, you get it. So that's what we really try to concentrate on.
Okay. Going back to partnerships, Charissa, how did you and Dr. Wang end up partnering together, and how do you determine if you are a good fit when you're partnering with any business?
Well, it does come down with networking. You just have to go there and meet different people, and sometimes, you know, it's a good chemistry. I'm reminded of a firm that we partnered with. They were a larger firm. We decided we were going to be a good fit because we found out they had named all their computers and servers after Star Wars characters, and we had named ours after Star Trek characters. So we knew we would all be compatible, and went forward at that. But yeah, I think it is. Yeah, you just have to find a firm that, you know, shares your work ethic, your people get along, you have similar cultures in your office. Because I can tell you the architecture job is hard enough not to be working with team members that you don't like and respect and trust. And I think we also have to be careful picking our clients. Again, the project is difficult enough, so you don't want to be working with a client that's going to be fighting you every step of the way.
Dr. Wang?
Yeah, and for our work is always teamwork, team building. I think numerous events City of Columbus provide, like the upcoming conference, that provide the network opportunities. So over there, you kind of network with different firms. You kind of know what kind of service they provide. At the meanwhile, you kind of sell your services to them. You need to demonstrate your capabilities. Another thing is you need to also look up City of Columbus website, what's the upcoming project, and you kind of get ready, prepared when the opportunity comes. You kind of know which team you want to get in, and we want to get in the teams who can be successful and deliver good quality services.
Okay. And with this upcoming conference, we still have a good 5 weeks before the summit actually takes place. What do you think women want to see when they come to this conference?
As always, networking. And when you get to this conference, you will need to be there and to talk with as many people as you want. Another thing is sell the services. Like me, I'm going to present a booth there to show what's the service I provide, also demonstrate what kind of project we provided before, be successful. I want to show numerous rewards we got from federal to state, like a small business excellent design award, some like some other LEED certified energy award, like those. And another thing is
Congratulations, by the way.
I think the City of Columbus also have different department people will be there, right? I know mayor will be there, and the director of department will be there, and they have facility people, so they kind of you kind of know them, you can know what's upcoming project coming.
Great, thank you. And we are wrapping up the show. It's going so fast, and I want to thank you all for being on the show. I've learned a great deal. And Director Carter, would you have some closing remarks?
You know, one thing I would like to say is that I think it'd be important to attend the conference because it gives us opportunity to make to let women-owned businesses, let the city know that they're out there. I have this thing I say, let's not make a liar out of me or anybody. If the mayor's saying, if I'm saying as his representative for women-owned businesses that we're out there and we're available, we can do the work. We don't want anyone to say, I can't find them. There are no architectural firms that can do this. There are no, certified firms in this area. We need to prove them wrong. And I think women have a great opportunity to do that by coming to this conference and saying, we're here and we're quite capable of doing work. And so I would hope that any women-owned business in the city would come and prove that I'm being honest and the mayor's being honest, and that we know there are good, wonderful, strong businesses that are women-owned in our community that want to work with us.
Well, thank you all, ladies, again for being on the show. And again, if you're interested, a business owner, female business owner, and you want to network to grow your business, please attend Mayor Coleman Small Business Summit on October 3rd at the Hyatt Regency from 8:30 to 5, and you can register at the columbus.gov website. Thank you so much for joining this special edition of Access to Business. Good night.